Al-Mu'minun, in which we recited Surah Al-Mu'minun as well as Surah Nur. And in the beginning of Surah Al-Mu'minun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions the qualities of a true believer. Who are the successful ones? Who are the successful believers in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Indeed, the mu'minun, the believers, they have succeeded. Not anyone. الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those ones who in their prayers are humble, are focused. Khushu and khuzur is found in their prayers. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. And those believers who apparently ignore and try to stay away from useless and vain activities, from activities which doesn't benefit a person. Like as Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself, he mentions in a hadith, min husni islam al-mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'ni. That from the beauty of a person's Islam, mean how in a positive way the Islam of a person should be affecting a person, should be is tarkuhu ma la ya'ni, to leave out everything which doesn't mean anything to him, which is not important to him, mean useless activities, vague conversation which purely wastes time of yours. It doesn't have, you don't get any sawab from it, rather your time gets wasted, means you did not get any benefit through such conversation or through committing such activities in terms of this dunya or probably reward in the akhirah, but rather it was a pure waste of time. So وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. Those ones, those believers who stay away and ignore everything which is not love, everything which is not important. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. And people who pay off their zakat. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. And believers who protect their private parts, mean people who stay away from fornication, from committing this gunāh kabīra called zina. Because obviously, to hold back yourself from such an, you would say, to hold yourself back from such a thought, if that thought comes into your mind, then to hold yourself back and to stay away, to ignore such thought, into turning into action, it's not something which is easy. So a person who has this thinking, who has this, this thought, shaitan, injects in his mind of committing zina, and then hum li furujihim hafidhun, they protect their private parts, mean they stay away, they prevent themselves from getting and indulging in such an action, are the ones successful believers. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِأَمَانَاتِهِمْ وَعَهْدِهِمْ رَاعُونَ. People who have consideration, who are very careful when it comes to keeping amanat and trust handed by people to them, and who keep up their promises. To keep up your promise with the person that you have made a promise with. And when a person hands you over something as a trust, that I'm going to take it back from you, to protect it and to give it back to him as how your word been given, that thing is one of the signs of successful believers. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَىٰ صَلَوَاتِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. And those people who apparently are very careful, who protect their salat, means they pray their salat on the time as how it was being commanded, with the sort of focus that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala demands from a person when he is in the salat, and what he should be thinking while he's in the salat, how the wuzu he should be performing before the salat, after the salat, the way how he should be making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, every small little detail and thing related to salat of a person performs how Allah ta'ala commanded him, and he protects, he preserves the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He has mentioned in the Quran and through the ahadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. That is a sort of salat which can declare, which makes a person eligible to be called a successful believer. These are the signs of a successful believer. And in Surah Nur is a long story about Surah Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, how she lost her necklace and everything happened with that. Obviously, I'm not going to get into detail in regards to that. But basically, the surah talks more about the women folk, the Masail of Parda, how important it is for a woman to cover herself and with the benefits of it, and the one who doesn't cover themselves, as how it is commanded in Islam, what are the harms of it. And very big thing, generally with this thing comes into our mind, it is in Quran, only men are being told to lower their gaze when it comes to looking at the non-married woman. Whereas the woman can look anywhere. That is wrong. قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ. O Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, tell this mu'mineen, tell the believers, يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ, men, يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُم, that the men, they should lower their gaze, they should keep their gaze down when walking outside or in front of a non-married woman. وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُم, and protect the private part. ذَلِكَ أَزْكَىٰ لَهُم, this is the most pure thing for them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا يَصْنَعُونَ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most aware of what they do. But right away, Allah Ta'ala cleared this up very clearly, explicitly. This hukum is not only for man. The woman should, this is very important, because generally this is a normal notion amongst us that, for man is important, to keep their gaze down. Women, they can't look anywhere, no. وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ, Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell the mu'minat, the women believer, the believers who are women, female, يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ, they should lower their gaze. Means you cannot look anyone except your mahram. Besides anyone besides your grandfather, your father, your brother, your son, your husband, and all those rishta, all those relation which is mahram for a woman. You cannot look at any other man besides these people. وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ, and to protect their private parts, means stay away from zina. وَلَا يُبْدِينَ زِينَتُهُنَّ إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا, and to cover up themselves. To cover up themselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand whatever has been said. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Maulana Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Allahumma inna ala zikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amin.